Hey everybody, so in this video we're going to be doing the Ferris wheel question. So here it says a Ferris wheel has a radius of 6 and a center is 8 meters above the ground. A rider gets on a chair of the Ferris wheel at its lowest point and completes one full revolution in 44 seconds. Sketch a graph on the grid to show the height of the rider above the ground y over time x for the first 44 seconds. So there's a few things we need to know here. First, let's sketch this out. Let's imagine that I have some Ferris wheel. Okay? Now, they tell me what the center is. So they tell me here's the center, and this is 8 meters above the ground. And then they tell me that this has a radius of 6 meters. Okay? They tell me in the problem that the person gets on the Ferris wheel at the lowest point. So here, let's change colors one more time. If I got on at the lowest point here, all right, this would be 6 meters below 8, which would be 2. And then 6 meters above 8 would be the highest point at 14. So one thing you want to think about is that we are given the lowest point and the highest point. So if we're going to graph this as a periodic function, it would probably be easiest to graph this as cosine. So I'm going to select this first option here. Now I'm going to come and plot my lowest point, and my highest point I know is going to be at 14. Now this really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to leave it right here because we know we have to move it to create some wave. Okay. Well, let's look. Here they say it completes one full revolution in 44 seconds. So that means that if I start at the lowest point here, in 44 seconds, I would be back at the lowest point. So I need to think, how long would it take for me to get to the highest point? Well, that would be half of the period, half of 44. And half of 44 is 22. So I could take this and drag this over to 22. Now, as we just said, the highest point is 14. So I need to make sure that I'm at 1422. So here I have my lowest point 2, my highest point of 14, and I have it completing one full revolution in 44 seconds. So this is the graph. The amplitude, period, and midline were given to you in the context of the problem. So if I go back to my image here, the amplitude is going to be whatever the radius of the circle is. So they told us the radius is 6, so that means that my amplitude is 6. The period is how long it takes to complete one full revolution. Well, they told us in the problem that in 44 seconds it would complete one full revolution. So my period here is going to be 44 seconds. The midline is the center of the graph. Well, they told us in our diagram that the center was at 8. So that's going to be my midline. Then it says, determine a function of this form. Here they give you the phase shift, so it really doesn't matter if your diagram is accurate or not. They just give this value to you anyway. You just need to plug in A, B, and D from here. Remember that B is not the period. B is the horizontal dilation. So the way you find this value from the period is you'll say 2 pi divided by the period. But A and D will be the values of the amplitude and the midline. So that's how you'll write your equation here. All right, that's going to be all for this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see you all in the next video.